Do you guys want to know who's going to win this week in week 2 in the NFL? Because I already know the winners, so let's talk about it. Hey guys, my name is Chris, and this is my channel. I talk about sports prediction, sports betting, anything related to sports. Right now, since we're in the NFL season, I want to give you guys my rapid, hot fire, hot take picks regards to the rest of the games for this week, Saturday and Sunday and Monday, regardless of the results of the Chargers versus Chiefs games. This is an updated prediction list for all you guys, and if this is the type of content you like and do enjoy, please remember to subscribe down to the channel and hit that like button. It pushes the video out to more and more people that love football like you and me. So let's go quick. It's a hot take, hot fire, hot rapid. I'm gonna give you guys my predictions and one or two reasons why I believe this team will actually win. Now, the first game on the list, guys, is the Carolina Panthers versus the New York Giants. Now, quickly, my pick is the New York Giants. The reason why, guys, the Saquon Barkley, he is the reason why I do believe the New York Giants will win this game versus the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield played sloppy last week. He was not in rhythm at all, in my opinion. And the Giants, they were very sloppy the first half, but they did pick up the pace in the second half of their last week win, which is very encouraging to see. And the running game for the Giants was very encouraging. So I do see the running game for the Giants to continue to impact these games, and that's why I'm picking the New York Giants. The next game, guys, is very exciting. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the New Orleans Saints. Now, the New Orleans offense is very different in quarterback with Jameis Winston, but they did get the addition of Michael Thomas, scoring 2 touchdowns last week. But again, guys, the Tampa Bay Bucks, you cannot discourage them with Tom Brady as quarterback. Now, last year, week 1, the Saints did have their number, blowing them out. But this time around, in the beginning of the season, the Tampa Bay Bucks look more in rhythm than the New Orleans Saints. I do see this game being very competitive, especially that the Buccaneers wide receiving corps does have some injuries, and maybe Chris Godwin will not be able to suit up, and Mike Evans is questionable right now with a couple of lingering injuries. But still, it's going to be very competitive, very close. So I'm putting my pick right now, guys, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game. The next one, guys, is very exciting and it kind of hits home. The Miami Dolphins versus the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the last time these two teams played, the Miami Dolphins did have Lamar Jackson's number, blitzing a lot. They actually did contain him, but now the Miami Dolphins defense is a little bit different from back then. The big story will be if they could actually contain Lamar Jackson in the pocket. Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, is going to always be one of these MVP candidates in the NFL season. 2, on the other hand, can he be lethal with the addition of Tyreek Hill? Now, this game may be very close. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens are expected to win, but I do feel, I don't want to put my heart into it, but I kind of do want to say the Miami Dolphins will win this game. I am a Miami Dolphin fan, hardcore, live long and die for, but I do believe the Miami Dolphins, especially with the rejuvenated offense, will win this game. Next, guys, it's the next New York team, the New York Jets versus the Cleveland Browns. Now, in the sports books, the Cleveland Browns are expected to win by 6.5 points or more. In my opinion, guys, I think it's clear cut, hands down, the Cleveland Browns will win this game. The Jets just don't have enough firepower on offense right now. Their defense is stellar, but can this defense actually make these turnovers and make the Cleveland Browns, actually get their own pressure on this offensive end? But I do think no matter what happens on the defensive side, unless the New York Jets actually get 3 pick sixes, the Cleveland Browns will win this game as well. The Washington Commanders versus the Detroit Lions. Now, Carson Wentz actually played lights out last week. He threw the ball, he knew how to sling it, and honestly, he did play quarterback for a good long time. He's very experienced, and against Jared Goff for the Detroit Lions did not look in sync, did not look in rhythm, and they just need, in my opinion, a little bit more help. Even though the Lions are the favorite to win this game in the sports books, I am predicting the Washington Commanders could win this game because Carson Wentz is just on another level of experience, on another level of gunslinging, quarterbacking, everything on it. So put my money on the Washington Commanders for this week. Indianapolis Colts versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, for many people, you may have think the Indianapolis Colts will win this game clear cut. And honestly, guys, in the sports books, they are the favorite to win. But now, the Indianapolis Colts did lose 2 of the top 3 receivers and starters. So they're going to be out with Michael Pittman and Alec Paris. So that's 2 big hits for the Indianapolis Colts, and they will need help on the offensive end. Now, on the other hand, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, it's always been kind of solid. So I do feel the Jacksonville Jaguars will pressure the quarterback, will get some pressure on it. And even though a lot of people are predicting that the Colts will win this game, I'll put my money in the Jacksonville Jaguars because the lack of offense and the lack of wide receivers that the Indianapolis Colts do have. Now, I do know they do have Jonathan Taylor, but the Jacksonville Jaguars will probably put 7 men on the box, 9 men in the box, play man-to-man, and make them throw the ball. So that's going to be very, very important. That's another key matchup looking at the rest of the game. But I am predicting the Jacksonville Jaguars to steal this game from the Colts. The New England Patriots versus the Pittsburgh Steelers has always been a very exciting matchup. The Steelers have always gotten the most sacks in the league in the past 5 years. Now, TJ Watt may be out for 6 to 8 weeks pending surgery. If he does get surgery, he's out for the season. In week 1, he did get 3 sacks by himself, and he was on pace to be and have another stellar season. And probably, guys, we could just say it, probably Defensive Player of the Year. And on the other hand, the New England Patriots only scored 7 points against the Miami Dolphins. The defense slacked, the offense slacked last week, but we do know Bill Belichick always has something up their sleeve. And at this moment, the New England Patriots are the favorite to win against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I actually do agree with them. So you could put my money and my pick for the New England Patriots this week against the Steelers. The Seattle Seahawks versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, there's 2 big things I want to mention, guys. Geno Smith played pretty decently in week 1 as the starter for the Seattle Seahawks last week. But can that continue, guys, versus the San Francisco defense? Honestly, guys, it's going to be just a little bit tougher. The defense for the 49ers has always been a little stellar, and now Trey Lance really has to step up. Now, week 1 has been week 1 versus the Chicago Bears, guys. The weather conditions were just out of this world, and the Niners did have a chance to win, even though it was basically a monsoon on the field. The Chicago Bears sliding everywhere, but week 1 was week 1, and Trey Lance, in my opinion, will run all over this defense. Yes, Elijah Mitchell is out for a couple months, but if Trey Lance cannot make it happen by throwing the ball, he will make it happen with his feet and the run game. Guys, the 49ers will win this game clear cut. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Los Angeles Rams. Guys, I think this is a no-brainer. The Los Angeles Rams. Let's go on to the next one. The Arizona Cardinals versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this one's going to be very interesting. These 2 teams did put up a fight last week, and they did put up some numbers. Now, Devontae Adams, guys, was a clear-cut MVP in the offense for the Raiders, and the Cardinals, guys, did lack defense. They let the Chiefs score more than 40 points, guys. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns, and that clearly cannot happen again, but the Cardinals are lacking defense. Now, can Kyle Murray actually produce offense on the Cardinals' end? That's something we have to see. We do know Kyle Murray could always throw the ball, slings it. Even though he is a somewhat short quarterback, he does have production, he does have accuracy, and he does have mobility to make the play happen, whether it's by throwing it or whether with his feet. But I do think the Raiders have too much offensive power right now against a somewhat weak defense versus the Cardinals. So my pick, guys, will be the Las Vegas Raiders. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys lost Dak Prescott with a thumb surgery, so he will be out for a couple months or 4 to 6 weeks. That is a huge loss for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, there is a lot more pressure on the run game. Can the Dallas Cowboys run game make it happen on the offensive end? And on the other hand, the Cincinnati Bengals played very mediocre last week. The offense was clearly not there. In my opinion, it was very shocking just to see how they were not in sync or not in rhythm. The only one that was actually somewhat in rhythm was Jamar Chase, and he actually did put up numbers for the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins did go into concussion protocol, but he will be playing this week. So my pick, guys, will be the offense of the Bengals. Cincinnati will win this game. The Houston Texans versus the Denver Broncos. Now, with the addition of Russell Wilson, very good quarterback in the Denver Broncos offense, and now with a playmaker like Judy, Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos is clearly different and is clearly superior than the Houston Texans, Denver Broncos for this game. The Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Now, we do know this is a huge in-division rivalry, and this rivalry has been one of the oldest, one of the longest in NFL history. Now, there's two big things that has been happening. Last week, the Chicago Bears, they lacked in offense, and so did the Packers. The Packers have basically, I don't want to say it, but no weapons on the offensive end, no passing game, and they have to heavily rely on the running game. Now, one big thing, guys, the Packers do have Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, reigning MVP, back-to-back MVP, and I do put my money on Aaron Rodgers way more than an inexperienced Chicago Bears, so I'll put my money and my pick for the Green Bay Packers for this week. The Tennessee Titans versus the Buffalo Bills. Now, this is a huge game that will be on Monday, I think around 7:15 p.m., guys. The Buffalo Bills have way too much offense. Josh Allen is the front runner for MVP this season after 1 week, both offense, throwing the ball, and running game. Just by himself, guys, he threw 2 touchdowns, scored a rushing touchdown. Josh Allen is the clear-cut winner, in my opinion, the reason why the Buffalo Bills may be the AFC champions and probably go to the Super Bowl this year. Even though I am a Dolphin fan, even though it is an in-division rivalry, the Buffalo Bills will have a huge defensive presence versus Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans, forcing Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball. And I do believe every time Ryan Tannehill does throw the ball more than 30 times, it does not go well for the Tennessee Titans because he does make a lot of mistakes. So if the Buffalo Bills could stop Derrick Henry and this run game, it'll be very interesting just to see how Ryan Tannehill does versus the Buffalo Bills secondary. But my pick, guys, is the Buffalo Bills. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, Jalen Hurts did not throw a touchdown last week, but he did score 2 touchdowns with his legs. And guys, Jalen Hurts is multi-talented, and the Minnesota Vikings are very, very good in my opinion. How are they going to stop JJ? And that's something that we actually have to see. I think this is probably going to be one of the closest games of this week, the Minnesota Vikings and Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the sportsbook does have the Philadelphia Eagles winning by more than 2 points, but I'm putting my money on the Minnesota Vikings, and we just have to see how it happens. So that's it, guys. Those are my picks for this week's NFL games, week 2. Stay tuned. Let me know down in the comment section which ones you agreed with, which one you disagreed with, or am I just full of it? Let me know down in the comment section, and remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy your football Sundays. Let's go.